Okay, so first of all, we're dropping down here into School Town, which, as you know anyway, is a place where lots of people drop down. So what I'm going to want to do is stay relatively close to my team here. It's not sort of one of those less populated areas where you can split up quite a bit. We're going to want to stop quite near them. So, as you can see here, I was going to drop into these buildings. Notice my teammate's a bit too close to me, so I went for these supply bins here instead. But what we're looking for really is a gun rather than a shield, because as long as we've got a gun, we've got a chance of being able to fight for ourselves. And we're going to swap the Mozambique for a Peacekeeper here as well, because obviously the Peacekeeper's a bit better. So now we've got guns, we are ready for a fight, but we've got to find that shield first. And just there, I'm switching the, I think it was an RE45 for a scout, so that I have a long range option, as well as the short range option of a Peacekeeper as well. So now that I've got myself all pretty kitted out, and my team, I can hear them getting into a fight, I'm going to run over there and try and join them. So, using the G7 Scout as our main weapon here, and the Peacekeeper if I need it once we get a bit closer. So I'm going to come in and try and support Serious Building. I was going to flank, but realised that one has been down, I need to be a bit quicker, so I'm going to watch over them whilst they're getting the revive. And I'm making a little mistake there. I should be using that wall as a bit better cover and being able to peek through it, whereas I was too far back away from it. I couldn't use the wall to the full advantage there. So now that we're down, our Wraith has got a hell of a job to do here. So what you need to do whilst you're down is you can still move. So we're going to be trying to mess with the enemy team by moving around, opening doors, trying to get in their way, and obviously helping out our Wraith as well. Now, opening doors and shutting them occasionally alerts the team that there's probably more people around than they think they are, so they might think that they're getting third partied. It gives that Wraith that moment there to revive the lifeline instead. And I'm just kind of retreating myself backwards here, trying to stay relatively close to the Wraith and the lifeline so that they can get the revive. And I think the Wraith made the right choice there, of reviving the lifeline as well, because the lifeline obviously has a quicker revive on me if needs be. Now, I'm not going to go the same way that they did, because I could see that the Wraith was fighting there, so I went around the back, and I'm just trying to get myself back to my team, back to somewhere safe where they're going to be able to revive me. And I was going to try and go into this building here, but the lifeline actually gets to me before that, and manages to get the revive here as well. So now that I'm up, my first job is to get myself ready to fight again. So we're going to go for that medkit. Luckily we have one already, so we don't need to use the lifelines drone that has already been used anyway. We've got the medkit, and then we're going to be looking for some shields hopefully as well. But we're just reloading our gun here because we can hear people nearby, and there you go, just getting ready on that door there. I'm missing another Peacekeeper shot, but that happens sometimes, that's fine. And you see that I'm just lobbing a thermite into the action because I know there's quite a few of them there. It's going to definitely deal some damage, as well as the one that's already down as well. And I just flank around here, hoping the Corsair's there, but he's actually gone up top. This is where it's Pathfinder. You can use a grapple to try and get round, and luckily there, we just managed to get the finish on him. He was very weak anyway. I think the thermite damaged him a lot, and my teammate had also killed him. So I'm going to leave the lifeline to actually heal the Wraith up, because she's got that faster heals, and she's got that little bit of protection on as well. And while she's doing that, we're just going to make sure that we've got enough ammo, ping out some ammo for our teammates as well, and we're all shielded up as well. And we actually went for a shield swap there, rather than trying to up our own shields, because it is so much quicker. So I'm just getting some fast looting going, because I know that there's not a team too nearby, but there is somebody relatively nearby. So now what we're doing is we're getting into that higher ground, that higher positioning. This is really important to do as Pathfinder, because you can do it easier. But I'm saving my grapple there. We're spreading out here as a team. I was going to pause this here. So what I've done by going up onto this left hand side, you saw the Wraith was up at the top on the right hand building as well, is I've got a different line of sight on the enemies there, so they're all focused towards my right where the Wraith and the lifeline is. They're not paying any attention to where I am, so I've got that different line of sight of them. I'm going to be getting them from what they think is the cover that they're peeking from, because they don't realise that there's somebody else, and usually what they expect is a team that's all looting together and healing up. They expect them to be all clustered up, whereas we moved pretty quick. We separated pretty fast. We got up on top of that building and just gave that extra little direction to help ourselves out in this fight. So you can see here, I actually popped a couple of headshots on the one that's got gold armor, which you can see just at the bottom of the screen there. So they've got good armor, but you've basically wiped that with that 98 damage now, and you can see that they're about to retreat now. So I'm just going to play just here. And as you can see, we downed one of them, the Wraith did, and we've managed to damage them enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and flank around this Pathfinder. I'm going to try and get behind them, which actually works out absolutely perfect. We managed to get the finish on them there, land right next to the Wraith. She doesn't see it happening. And again there, the shield swap straight away. That's the most important thing to do when you're looting, in case that third team comes in. And I was looting really fast there and keeping a little eye out for any teams. And I stopped and I listened there for a moment. Didn't hear anybody else. Know that it's relatively safe. So we've got a little bit more time to loot. You can see there the lifeline dropping some ammo for the Wraith as well, who needs that energy ammo. But I'm staying kind of just changing direction, constantly having a little look around, and then once I realise it is safe, we've got to decide where to go next. Deciding there on Marketplace. Mainly because it's a straight line of sight, and I know that Marketplace we can both attack it and defend it relatively well as Pathfinder. It's easy to get up onto that roof, so should be okay. But we've got enough time here. I think we've cleared out School Town at this point, so we are just going to loot up, make sure we've got plenty of ammo, and ping out any more things that our teammates might need as well. So whilst I'm moving around here, you can see that I actually have a little scout around as well. Before we go to market, I am just checking our right hand side, just making sure that there's nobody that's arriving late from like Thunderdome or water treatment, anywhere like that. And I'm just using my grapple here to catch up to my teammates as well. So we're all taking the jump tower here to be able to move in a bit quicker. The teammates have spotted an enemy down there, and we're thinking, right, they're not going to expect somebody right on their behind straight away, so we're all pushing together as a team. I personally, if I was like not as reliant on my teammates this one, if I didn't trust them so much, I would be hesitant to push here, but seeing them both go in together, knowing that they've fought well so far, we're going to do the same thing as well. So we're trying to use cover to our advantage here, even if it is those small little barriers. And again, I'm just trying to flank a little bit around on the right hand side, give that team a better option. And I should have seen that person up there, and I'm just going to pause here. So what happened there was we were too busy shooting. We didn't check Marketplace as we came across, which is why I said that if I was not trusting my teammates so much, I'd be really hesitant to be pushing in from the jump tower that quickly without checking Marketplace first. And this is exactly why. Somebody's heard our shooting and they've come up behind us. So we're in a horrible position here where we've been caught between two teams. Now my first thing there is to reposition straight away. And we're going to reposition and we're going to deal with the immediate threat. That is the utmost. Like these people that come behind us, they're the huge worry. The other ones were kind of safe in those positions up on top of the cliffs inside that building. They're not going to be moving as fast, whereas these people, they're right on us. So it's repositioning, trying to get behind them. I use my grapple here to try and basically just get right in this Gibraltar's face. And there's a little bit of panic seeing a Gibraltar like that up front, but he's not got his gun shield up at this point. So, you know, we've got to go for it. We have to attack here. We haven't got a choice. We're completely limited in that. But the important thing is just reposition, turn around straight away, refocus that gunfire on the people, the immediate threat, which is actually the third party, rather than the team that you were initially going for. So we'll see what just happens here. See that? Managed to down one of them, and we're getting two shot by this one, so we're going to put a bit of damage out, and we are just going to try and get a way to heal here. Not very much life left. The lifeline here is basically keeping us well covered. We're going to pop a few grenades in as a deterrent and watch over the lifeline while she gets that revive as well. So now that the lifeline's got the Wraith all healed up and the Wraith is healing as well, this is our cue to use that medkit. I'm using the health first instead of the shields. I know it takes a little bit longer, but it's because I know that I can shield swap if needs be. So I'm going to use these shield cells, give myself a little bit of shields. You can see here, I go to this death box and I pick up... Oh, no, I don't pick up that one. Might be another one. So I'm going to use another shield cell. And I pick up the blue shield instead. I know that I've got a purple one, but it's not fully healed up yet. The blue one is quicker to do. I need to be pushing with my teammates here and helping them out, despite them, you know, they're playing very well. I trust them enough anyway. And again, we're just going to flank around this building here. And you can see my teammates have actually finished them off. So, just going to pause it here. Now that we've done with that fight, we managed to take on two teams there, and we were very, very close to getting third parties. Well, we need to make sure that we're looking out for the next third party, because there was a lot of gunfire in that situation, going on for a vast amount of time. So we've got to be really quick when we're looting as the fight's over. And you can see here, I'm just looking for the essentials. I'm looking for the healables more than anything. Healables and a little bit of ammo. As soon as we start getting shot there, we're going straight back into cover. I had a little hint that there might be a third party anyway. I just got that feeling just because of the amount of shooting going on, so I was ready to get straight into cover behind those stairs, and we're firing a few shots there. Now that is just to deter them and basically keep them at bay a little bit before we heal up. And you see again there a quick shield swap, even though it's a weaker shield than what we had, it's so much quicker than actually healing up that it is worth it for me to be able to go and help my team the way that I want to. So we're just putting suppressing fire from the back here really, and now I choose to zip line behind them to give myself that extra shot on them here. And fortunately though, my team actually dealt with it before I even really got to do anything there, but it was nice to know I am there, and you can see a quick shield swap to the purple shield. I'm just grabbing the essentials here, the extended mags, and the health as well. But the shields is the first thing, that quick shield swap. So you can see there is another team trying to third party, so I'm using that rock as cover while I heal up there. And this is something quite important here as well, so just pausing it there. What we're doing is we are shooting from behind cover, obviously, it is a nutmeg, but what I'm actually doing as well is I'm going for the priority target. So this team is coming at us. Now, you saw that somebody else was shooting me first, down in the bottom left there of the screen. But I actually started going for the guy on top of the building because he had a much better view at me. The one down in the bottom left couldn't really see me very well behind that cover, but this guy on the high ground has a much better line of sight on me. So I'm going for him. I'm trying to just put down some covering fire more than the thing. I'm not even really trying to actually finish this guy off or kill him, but I am just trying to basically put down that suppressing fire and just kind of make him, you know, chill down a little bit, basically stop firing at us quite so much. So play there. So you can see they are throwing so many grenades at us now. We're going to use our grapple to escape it and get away. And I've got a shield battery here, so I'm going to use this time to heal up. I see that the lifeline and the wraith are fully healed anyway. They are. It's really nice to be able to play even solos, being able to trust your teammates, because I trust them completely now to keep themselves absolutely fine in this fight. And whilst I'm healing up, you can see there, it's that other angle again. I'm a little bit away from my teammates. I'm close enough to help out if needs be, and certainly in the fight with them, but I'm at that drawn back distance in order to be able to get better lines of sight on them. And you see here, I'm going up onto the rooftop to get an even better one as well. So even when they're using what they think is cover against my teammates, it's not necessarily cover against myself, and it's caused them to retreat into that building there. Now you can see one of them tries to make a run for it, but I'm there to put down that fire. And so is my teammate. We managed to get the down on them. So now that one of them is down, we're going to be pushing in. We all know that they're down, so you can see all of us now running together. I'm still keeping that little bit of distance, and I am still going to flank around the outside. Now, I go all the way around here, and I'm looking at that building, but I hear somebody behind me, see my teammates running, and go, oh, one of them's ran away. One of them has tried to get out of here. But you can see, I'm just going to pause it here. Another team has come in back where we were just fighting. So again, this is the second time in this match that we have been attacked from both sides. So what I'm going to do is I've turned around, I'm going to deal with the immediate threat again. So this is the team that has just come in for the third party. The other guy, he's ran off a little bit. I need to bear in mind that he is still there. He might come back for his teammates' banners, but at the moment it's the team that has just dropped in. That is the immediate threat. So this is what we are going to do, whilst also obviously keeping an eye on the rear as well. So just going to play it again here. So again, just putting down that covering fire for my teammates, going for the priority targets, those ones on the roof that have those better line of sights, and I'm just keeping a check on that rear. I'm worried maybe about that other team coming back in, and I do hear a Pathfinder grapple here. So there we go, fire a couple of shots. I know that my teammates have got the other situation covered down. I'm just keeping this Pathfinder at bay, and I decided to stick on here. I look at my teammate's house, see it's full, think right, okay, I can still keep on going with that Pathfinder. I'm going to make him wish that he never even tried coming back, and I want to make sure that he doesn't come back again. So I see that the race health is depleting there. I've started thinking about getting back to help. We go to get back to help and notice another one is attacking us from an advantageous position, so I'm putting suppressing fire down that. Once I see the wraith is down, I go straight back to help it. I want to make sure that I get, you know, the enemy before they manage to actually fully kill off my teammates. So I do that just there, that suppressing fire again, and I run into help here, and I actually realise, I'm just going to pause here, the wraith is actually just below me on like the bottom of the screen there. I don't see her at this point, which is fortunate for the wraith, I guess. But what I do see is the Bangalore in the window of that building, so I fired a couple of shots at her, and I was fortunate again just to get her. And there we go, quick switch to the Peacekeeper. The wraith was still there. I thought she'd completely ran away. I thought she'd evaded me somehow, but she was there the whole time. And fortunately, the Peacekeeper just to get her there, and obviously the Scout to finish her off as well. I go for the shield swap initially into the blue shields in case anybody starts shooting it straight away. Realise I've got a bit of time, so we switch back to the purple shields. We've got the time to be able to heal them up, knowing that we've got that building as cover as well. So bear in mind, I know that Pathfinder is probably not going to bother coming back to us, and the ring's coming in. He's probably gone away. Now there was also that person shooting us from the building that's just across the little what's it called, the little ravine there. but I'm thinking that they're not going to be coming in either, because we're still a full team, and that one looked like they were alone as well. So I think we've got the time here to be able to sort ourselves out. We still prioritise shields. That's still the most important thing. Get your health and your shields up. And then I was looking for some sort of weapons, a little bit more ammo, some grenades and things, but realised the ring's coming in. I've got to move now. I can't go for that zip wire that my teammates used, but that's okay, because being Pathfinder, we know we've got that grapple. We can grapple up if we need to. And sort of going by the way that my teammates gone about this and not coming to fight, I know the other teams have retreated. I know that we're not in too much trouble here. We finally get a little bit of chill down time in this match. So all we're going to do is keep in formation with our teammates. You'll notice during this match, I'm all the time I'm taking that rear position. One of the reasons I'm doing that is because I know that I've got a scout. I know that I can shoot from a good distance, and I think that as a Pathfinder, I'm better at being able to get into lots of different places and basically being able to get that extra line of sight that I've been talking about this whole time. I think that's so important. It's a way of being able to flank your enemy without truly flanking them. It's just that slight different angle on them, because a lot of places, if they're using a bit of wall as cover, if they're trying to peek my teammates, if I'm in a slightly different position, they might not be able to do that without getting shot by me. So you can see my teammates obviously pinging out the enemies there, which is quite important, but then they've got into a fight even closer, so they ping that one as well. It's always important to be pinging these enemies the way that my teammates are. So they're chasing here. I'm going to try and get the high ground here. So this is what I'm talking about as Pathfinder. It's going to give me that extra line of sight, getting the high ground, and just looking over, but I end up having to jump down anyway, because it seems as though the opposing team is actually running away from us here. They're trying to get away. So I need to catch up a little bit quicker, and this was my bad. I should have stuck with my teammate a little bit more than I did, but we're going to zip line up, get the high ground again, and I'm just going to pause it just here for a moment. Now, whilst we're chasing this team, and this is something that happens quite often, and I find that sometimes when I'm playing with a little bit more inexperienced players, is they start pushing somebody, they start chasing this team, they're running away from them, they think, right, they must be weak, they're running away, let's go get them, and then they end up running into a bunch of buildings, and the team are, sat there in corners, or sat there, just round in little alcoves and things like that, and then just absolutely decimate them from these hiding positions. So it's really important to not let the opposing team to get the jump on us whilst we're chasing them. This is one of the reasons I've gone to the high ground here. They know that my two teammates are chasing them, so if they're trying to hide around that corner and shoot them out, which I think is what they're going to do, if I'm on that high ground, I'll be able to stand up there and be able to shoot from that high position. So we're going to play that now and see what happens, and go. You can see I'm just acknowledging to my teammates that I am actually still with them. I mean, I'm sure that they trust me anyway after the fights that we've been in, but just sort of that little acknowledgement, I am there, I am backing you up, I'm just getting myself into a good position to do so. So here we are, this is exactly what I was talking about. We're on that high position. The Bangalore actually is lagging out a little bit there, so I go, you know what, fine, I'm going to go for somebody else, going to keep a little bit of cover, but I see the lifeline instead. Let's try and finish her off. And from that top-down position, that's 2 headshots. I mean, the only thing you can hit in that position is the head. And we're going to keep cover there. I actually end up shooting a dead body because, I don't know, maybe a little bit panicked. I thought it was a real person. And whilst my teammates are healing up, I've just got to be really careful and just scout that area, make sure nobody's sneaking up on them. They're relying on me for that. So keep in watch. The whole team is healed up now. That person looks like they've retreated, so I'm going to reposition and be able to basically keep a lookout for any other teams that are coming in. And I see a zip wire up here, and indeed there are people coming up. So I fire off, and then I make a little mistake that I should have got to cover way sooner than that. I should have got to cover before I fired. And I'm actually missing a lot of shots here, and they're a good team. They've got a good aim on me. We're just going to pause it there. So they have depleted my health way too much in that moment, so I need to go down. My cover wasn't enough there. They could still see me, and I was absolutely failing at peeking them. They were a good shot. Now, a lot of the teams that we've come across, they've had their attention drawn by my teammates, but my teammates are behind the wall here, so they're not drawing any of the fire, basically. It's all being pinned on me, and you can see they've almost got me down. The last thing I want to do is die up on top of here without my teammates being able to get to me. So I'm choosing to jump down onto the building, retreat and heal. It's really important to be able to pick your fights like that, and it's just so important to be able to get away and have that backup plan. And my backup plan is basically my teammates are down here, they're full health, they're good enough anyway to be able to keep them at bay whilst I heal up, so I'm going to go do that and join them. So we're going to play it here. Okay, so whilst I'm down on the ground, I was going to heal up my shields, but I'm doing this thing again. May as well shield swap. I know there's a couple of death boxes here. Now, That shield swap, not quite good enough, so I take the shield batteries instead. At least then I've got the shield batteries to be able to do all my shields in one go. So the Wraith here wants a zip line, and I've already used mine, unfortunately. It's not quite ready, but there's no buttons, so I just kind of teabag there to kind of display, look, you know, I know what you're saying, I get it, I want to go up there, don't have a zip line yet though. There really needs to be a button for that, a button to let your teammates know that your ultimate is charging, but you will use it, obviously, when you get it. So you can see here, the wizards around here, whoever was firing at me though, it seems as though they stayed on top. They don't want to lose that high ground, so they didn't push in on us, fortunately. And there we go, I get the zip line, and I ping it out as well to my teammates, so they actually know it's there. That's a really important thing to do. I know some Pathfinders don't do that. And you can see this team are still up here, so I'm going to ping up a few shots, and we're using that cover again, peeking. Now I'm going to go for the player here, the opposition, that is absolutely open, because he's easier to hit. He's not in any cover whatsoever, so we're going to target that guy. And I cancel my heal there, because I see that the teammate has come back out of cover there. Not the teammate, but the opposition. And want to finish. And now I just need to go and push in with my teammate, because the lifeline there is pushed in really far. So we're going to just make sure that we get to them. We're healing up here, and this is quite interesting actually. I'm looking down, and then luckily my teammate pings the hostile. And that's why it was so important. She was one shot, literally one shot with the G7 Scout there. I forget I don't have my grapple, so I fall to the ground, but that's no problem. But yeah, really, really important that I think it just showcased it really well in that moment that the lifeline pinged that player out to me. I had no idea they were there behind that cover, but I could actually see their leg. So I cancelled my heal just to get that finish on them, and that can be important to do as well sometimes. Don't overcommit to healing, feel free to cancel it if needs be. You might think sometimes, oh, I've already done 4 seconds of this Phoenix kit, I need to finish it off. Feel free to cancel it, it's really handy so many times. So we're going to quickly grab some loot here, and my teammates are moving really quickly. I'm just going to pause this here for a second. Now, my teammates have moved really fast, way quicker. I mean, I looted there for a few seconds, it seemed like. I should be pushing with them, and I should be much closer to them than I am right now. So I'm trying to get close to them. But what I've got to do really is I've still got the high ground. I'm going to basically use that to my advantage. My teams are pushed in. There's only one squad left. I'm going to use this high ground to try and scout for them as well, because I realise that I haven't got close enough to my team to be able to actually help them from where I would be if I tried actually running to them. So I'm going to try and take the high ground and then get to them if they really need it. So you can see here, I'm just staying up here and scouting over them. I'm just keeping watch, making sure that nobody comes up behind them. That's all I can do from this position. If I start running towards them now, a team could come up on them, and I wouldn't be able to do anything. I would still be getting there, basically. So now that they've been spotted, and I'm like, oh god, the team's on the other side there. I can't see them from where I am. I jump down, and I'm going to use my grapple to try and catch up to my team really quickly. I'm going to try and flank the other side of this building, because I know that they're in that building there. So I flank around with the Peacekeeper, and there's the one. We get just 8 damage with the Peacekeeper there. But somebody else finishes them anyway. And managed to do it. It turned out to be one lone person, not a full team, I think, there at the end, which is quite handy. But the important thing there was at least I was moving quickly to support if needs be. If that was a full team, I was coming through that back door with a Peacekeeper, and I was ready to crack some skulls with it, basically. But that's it. So full match there. I'm just going to pause it there. So you can see, obviously, we got 9 kills, just over 2,000 damage. But the lifeline, I mean, the lifeline is incredible. 14 kills, 3,600 damage, and 4 revives as well, which is really important. I mean, that was a tough game as well. This was not a game which we just absolutely walked over. I did queue solo, so I didn't know these people. These were random people coming in, but you can see that I could really, really rely on them. I mean, I was playing a support role most of the time. I was constantly on high grounds. I was staying a little bit back. I was suppressing fire, covering fire all the time, occasionally finishing kills. I'm actually surprised I finished as many as I did on that one, to be honest with you, of how rampant the lifeline was being. But that is how you play a support Pathfinder. I do find a lot of the time when I queue of randoms, I am the one that's pushing in further, and usually the one going head first. But when you've got somebody like that, and you end up queuing with some people that are quite good, and you can rely a little bit more, Pathfinder is a support character. He's supposed to be sitting back. He's supposed to be flanking around on the enemies, getting into positions that they're not expecting. And we got to play exactly that this game. So if you do play as a Pathfinder in an actual squad of people, you need them to know that. You need the people that you usually squad up with to know the kind of Pathfinder that you're going to be playing, whether it's going to be the type that I often end up doing, which is just ziplining straight into teams and trying to do it all yourself, or whether you're going to be able to play that support role, because I think that is where Pathfinder really excels. Other than that, though, it was like I say, it was a tough game. We got third partied multiple times in that, fourth parties, even fifth parties at times. Certainly around when we were in, I can't remember what it's called, but just beyond Marketplace on that area. There was a lot of teams coming in for us. So I think through that we got some really main points. Actually, it's a really good bit of gameplay to be able to do a guide over, because there were so many things happening all the times. But I think there's a few points I just want you to make sure that you're taking away from this. Now, the first one of those is something I said a lot, which was shield swapping. Rather than trying to heal up your shields, even if they're purple, you can swap a purple for a white shield if it's during a fight, because that saves you that, I'm not sure what it is, but probably about 8 seconds to do the shield stats for it. Maybe 6 or 8 seconds to do those. It just saves you that bit of time, allows you to go support your team a little bit quicker. The other thing is the lines of sight as well. You need to be close enough to your team to be able to help them out, but you want to be far enough away from them that you've not all got the same angles on the enemy. You want to be able to have those different lines of sight on them, and certainly as a Pathfinder you're going to need that high ground as well if you are playing as him. And another thing as well was shown so well in this guide is the third parties. When that team comes in for you, you need to focus your fire on them. You need to make them say, oh, we shouldn't have done this, actually, we should have waited a bit longer. And I find that happens to me quite often. That it's usually the way that I fail a third party is I come in on two teams and one or both of them will just start focusing their fire on us, and that's it, we're not expecting it. And usually when teams are pushing in like that, they get a little bit too excited, they hear the gunfire, they think, oh, this is going to be an easy cleanup. And then they're not in enough cover and things like that, which is the same things. They were just standing on top of that building. They weren't even peeking behind any of the aerials or anything like that. So we were easily able to kind of take care of them and clean them up really quickly. The same for the first one that third party does as well. They weren't under any cover. I kind of grappled around, and then I was right in the face of the Gibraltar. He was just standing out in the open. He couldn't really do anything about it. But the important thing is dealing with that immediate threat of the actual third party themselves. And I think the last thing that I really want to take away from this is you've got to be working as a unit all the time. If you see that somebody is low on health, you need to be over with them, covering them, so they have a chance to heal up. Now, reloading is not really a thing in this game, but I remember playing some older games, you would cover people whilst one of them was reloading. This one, it's more about healing. You cover people while they heal. You cover, here I covered the lifeline a bunch while she was reviving, but that is so important. And the last thing is just remember, when you are downed, like we were, I mean, that was the first fight of the match, where both myself and the Wraith both myself and the lifeline got downed. We could have lost the match right there, but what we did was, whilst we were in that down position, we helped that Wraith so much and helped her be able to recover us, just by moving around, closing and opening doors, getting in the enemy's face a little bit, distracting them as much as possible, but also then taking that time to retreat into a better position for the revive when necessary as well. And most importantly, just don't leave. Give your teammate a fighting chance. Spurs them a little bit more if they see that you're staying there, waiting for the revive as well. And don't just ping like crazy as well. You want to ping enemies where they're probably enemies that are hiding in cover or new ones arriving into the fight, but don't ping like crazy. Your teammate still needs to be able to hear what is going on. And I think that's it really. Now that's my first guide video that I've done. I might do another one at some point if I have some gameplay where I've not done any live commentary over it. And it might be a little bit better than this, because I think we'll see how well I managed to edit this together with the pausing and everything. But either way, if you liked it, leave a like and a comment, and maybe even a subscribe as well. And let me know, actually. Let me know. Put a comment down asking me to do more of these types of things. I realised that this one was very Pathfinder heavy with the grappling and the zipline and everything like that, so I might make it a Pathfinder specific one. If you'd like to see me do another character, someone that I don't usually play, then go ahead, leave a comment with that character, and I'll give it a go. But other than that, I'll see you next time. Cheers.